Alright everyone, welcome back to another Wash and Talk here in Automotive Anatomy. To give an update, I feel so much better on my back. Not like any of you guys were like waiting or couldn't sleep at night. I wonder how Gus's back is doing. In this wash, obviously this is where my back was hurting, and this is more than a week and a half. Nah, like a week. And couple pills and I'm not big on pills, but I felt like okay, if I can get a little bit of the, you know, I guess hurting to go away, then I can deal with other stuff. But a little bit of Tylenol and then some hot patches, and yeah, I'm stretching now in the morning. So thank you guys for those suggestions. So definitely I'm feeling much better, man. Um, and I've been eating less, so I think those are all the little things that have been adding up. I'm not necessarily gonna say that I've lost weight, but I've been definitely eating less and somewhat intermittent fasting. I wouldn't really call it that 100%, but I'm definitely trying not to eat after 5 p.m. Feeling good in the mornings too, you know. Then I have my nice little breakfast, and the energy lasts throughout the whole day. And so I think that's good. I'm not feeling sleepy. I don't feel tired. Um, I'm keeping myself, somewhat doing things, and it can be difficult at times, but I'm definitely trying to do that. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a little bit of a shorter wash and talk, just because I had my back was hurting, so, and I only had like 38% battery on this one, so I was trying to hurry. But I did say on this video that it was gonna be the last day with OEM wheels. I think I say at the end of the video. um, it's funny, to this topic, time is money. My buddy Brandon from Victorville sent me that. He's like, hey, time is money, man. And I said, yeah, I gotta get better at that. Like, I know that time is money. And the reason why he said that was because I posted on my stories, and you guys are also gonna be able to see once that video comes out, when I go around putting the tires on the really beater wheels that I got from FM Spec. And I went to this tire shop, right? The whole ordeal was, I went to the tire shop, the valve stems didn't work, I had to wait, I ordered the right valve stems, I went back to the tire shop, and when I went back to the tire shop where I usually, go, there's two that I usually go to. It just happened to be that was the more convenient one. I picked up the wheels, they were closer to that tire shop, I went to that tire shop. So the owner didn't want to help me, he was on the phone, so he sent one of his guys, and so anyways, I was like, how much is it to mount tires? And I usually don't ask. I usually just like, and then the guy goes $100, after he went and asked his boss, and I was like, $100, like, damn, like, I was like, what? I thought it would be cheaper, but whatever, I have the tire, but. So I called up the other tire shop that's literally next to my house, right? Not literally, I should say that, very close. And they're like, oh, $80, we'll have it ready for you. I was like, all right, cool, it's I have to drive home, so because I'm not going out of my way. I'm not going anywhere else. So I drive back home. I get to the tire shop. I guess they went out to get some lunch or whatever. So I'm there. I'm just chilling there, like 10 minutes. Finally, the guy arrives, and then it's a nice, cool guy, man. And I'm like, here's a tire. She's this. So he put on a tire, right? And then I don't think he knew how to put it on right, or I don't know. He was distracted or whatever the case may be. And then he started doing some other stuff with the other valve stems, blah blah blah. And his brother came by. I guess his brother had gone out on to get tires, and his brother's younger. And he came by, and then he helped somebody else, while the original guy, older guy, he was taking out the old valve stems, putting the new valve stems, blah blah blah. And then finally, once the other guy finished, then he ended up putting the tires on the last three, the younger brother, right? And then the other brother did something else. And then so I was like, cool, I started putting the tires away and the wheels into the car, and then I'm waiting for the last one. And then I hear the young guy tell the older guy, like, oh no, this tire doesn't work anymore. And then the older guy looks at me like, oh, I'm sorry, I messed up your tire. We're gonna obviously order a new one. I think he mounted it backwards or something like that, so the beat it something. Point is, I wouldn't have known if they hadn't tell me. So the guy told me, he's like, hey, I wouldn't send you down the road like that, we'll eat up the price on it, and we do apologize. This was on a Saturday though. He's like, so we'll have it ready for you Monday, man. I know that you wanted to have your wheels already. I'm like, yeah, And so part of it is that I'm practicing patience, right? So I just thought it was humorous. I didn't get mad. I legit did not get mad. I was like, it happens. I just asked the guy, I'm like, hey, not trying to be rude or anything, but can you please make sure it's the same exact tire? He's like, yeah, of course it's gonna be the same exact tire. And the reason I told him that, obviously I didn't explain all of this to him, but the reason I told him that is just because the way the Yokohamas, when they put air on them, the design of the way they air up is different than just like any regular tire. And you guys know that the Toyos look amazing for a reason, and Yokohamas, I just like the way the Yokohamas look. And it's a pricier tire. It's not super pricey, but it's a little bit pricier. Anyways, so that happened. So I was planning on putting on the wheels that Saturday right after the tire shop. So that didn't happen. I came back. I put 3 wheels onto the garage, and then Monday they called me, and then that was it. The tire was done. It is the same tire, so I will eventually get around putting the tires. Maybe, I don't know, this weekend or so. Honestly, I do have time, guys. It's something. It's more of a. I have to deal with personalities, and what I mean by that, I would have to go to, my mom's storage. That's where I mostly keep all my stuff. I pay her rent every month, and all I need is my jack. My jack. Put the wheels on, be done with it. But I usually like to do that during the day, so that way, if there's any cars outside or anything like that, I don't have to maneuver any cars, drive nobody else's car to move them out of the way or anything like that. So it's just so much convenient to, just do it when there's nobody there, which is usually the weekend around 11, 12. So anyways, I posted on the story. I said, ironically, $20 cost me not only like an hour, getting those other tires mounted, plus the fact that one of the tires was damaged, and so I had to wait till Monday. So you could say those $20 cost me at 2 days, and some change. And my buddy Brandon, sent me a message is like, time is money, fool. And I think what he meant to say, like, don't get caught up on the pennies. You could have paid $20, been out of your way, put on the tires, move on. Like, could have been a little bit easier on you. And I agree. And I think, obviously you guys know I'm a big budget nerd, and I think that can be part of the problem, in the sense of I've grown up with that mentality of best bang for your buck, and that comes from, I think my personality comes from the fact that when I was growing up, I always heard that we had money problems. My mom would always be short on money or things like that, and I like to save money whenever I would get some money from whatever I would we would do. I had a little bit of money saved, and I would always save it. Like on my birthdays, if somebody was to give me some money, I would save it. I like to collect pennies, so I would always be collecting pennies and ask my mom if we can go to the bank. Back then, obviously, you guys could go to the bank. I think you still can, but now there's like machines where you can just throw it. But I would count 100 pennies and put them in those little paper things, and then she was like, okay, well, collect all the pennies that you find, and do this, and so she would give me the change and things like that. And we would go to the bank, and I'll get like $80, in dollars. I was like, damn, that's cool. So she'd be like, what do you want to spend it on? I'm like, nah, I just want to save it. And then there'll be days that she was, she took the bus every day to go to work. So there'll be days that she'll ask me like, hey, do you have like $4, in singles? I'll pay you later. I'm like, yeah. So I was like excited to give her $4, then yeah, she'll always pay me back. But I was like, I always tell her like, hey, if you need change for the bus, I have some money. He's like, yeah, that's cool, thank you. So I think that's where it comes from. I always learn what the best bang for the buck. You can find a little bit cheaper, and hence why I started messing with cars, because I remember one time I went with my stepdad to get a quote on the wagon, a wagon that my mom had bought. That's her very first car she ever bought at 40 something years old. That was her very first car we've ever owned. And now I don't know why, well, I don't know why. My stepdad is mechanically inclined. That's where I learned all this stuff from. But he went, I think he went to the like the Pep Boys or whatever, to ask them like, hey, what is the estimate, blah, blah, blah. But he really wanted them to check it out. He wasn't sure what the problem was. They're like, oh, I think it's the axles and it's this. And so when they quoted him, I kid you guys not, they quoted him like, how much was it? $150 per side, if I'm not mistaken. So that would have been 300. And they're like, oh yeah, we recommend you change both of them. So it's like, damn, and I was there, and it was like on a Saturday. He's like, so what's up? You want to go get the axles and change them ourselves? And I was like, sure. I wasn't gonna do anything. It wasn't even at night, so I wasn't even gonna hold a flashlight. So yeah, from that moment, like he's always been the person that I used to take the car to get anything mechanically until he couldn't, and and now I hated waiting, like even for a simple oil change. I was like, man, be like, hey, can you do an oil change on the car? He'll be like, oh, over the weekend, because he's always worked very late. And one day I was like, F it, man, I'm gonna just do the oil change myself. And I went by then we didn't live with him anymore. My mom had divorced him, or whatever you want to call it. I went to his garage, used his tools, and it worked. The car didn't blow up. I left it with oil. And so from that kind of idea, I was like, when am I gonna go pay somebody to do something unless it's really, really necessary? But I think that's where I've always grown up with the whole, best bang for the buck. But there are times that definitely it backfires, like this time. $20 right there would have been like, no big deal, here's $100, and that's it. But I chose to go the other way, and there's times that it works. There's times that you decide to go and do something else, and it works out, and you save money. And so I'm like, cool. That's the reason why I've never taken my cars. Only one time we took the car to the dealer, and that was my wife's Accord. It was having issues starting up, so I looked it up and I took it to Pep Boys. I took it to AutoZone. They both tell me it's the alternator. The alternator. It's acting up, man. It's your alternator. I'm like, okay. It's like starter seems okay. Ignition seems okay. So it's that. I'm like, okay. Battery's fine. Okay, cool. So I ended up going to the dealer to buy the part. And it was like $700, man. It's expensive. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save the money on labor on it. So yeah, I replaced the alternator. And sure enough, after like the third time she tries to turn it on, it starts giving her issues again. I was like, damn. So she's like, should I take it to the dealer? I'm like, you know what? I don't want her, getting pissed off or, dealing with this BS. I can deal with my car's not turning on. Like Jackie right now, I need to change the starter on it because it's been acting up. But I can deal with that, not her, especially on a newer car. So we ended up going to the dealer. Obviously, they charged her, I don't know, like $80 just to inspect it. And it turned out to be it was a freaking starter, dude. It was so much easier to replace than the alternator. And the starter was expensive. Can't remember how much, but it ended up becoming very expensive. So I was like, damn, So we spent about the same money that we should have, spent the first time around. Whatever, the way I looked at it is like, well, now she has a new starter and alternator at the same time. And that's that, right? But, part of it is you win some, you lose some, I guess. And this time, I guess I lost, a little bit of time. And so, but you never know. You never know. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And that's something that I definitely want to get to you guys, man. I'm trying to get off that mentality. Not saying that it's a bad one, but I definitely need to get off the whole mentality of like, oh, what's the cheapest you can go. Like sometimes you have to either step up your budget or not care so much about the dollars or the pennies. And not to say that I'm that type of person like, oh man, like I gotta be making the most money all the time or trying to save the most money all the time. I think it's a nice little balance that we need to be at. But yeah, man, that was the little story that I have for you guys. And so I say in this last video that will be the last time on OEM wheels, but it may not, it may be or may not be. But anyways, we'll catch you guys in the next one. I appreciate you guys. Much love.
Shorter video today just because I'm running out of battery. I'll wash Jackie first, but she's looking minty. I like the way she's looking. Should be the last wash and talk for a bit on stock wheels for Rosie. We got the fender rolling. I'm sure you guys already saw that video at the time of this wash and talk. And then we're gonna slap on some wheels and we'll rock them for a little bit, but that's not gonna be the ultimate vision for it. It's gonna be something different, but for now I'm really gonna miss this look because I really legitimately like the OEM wheels, but let's try something different. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.